It's a restring. Let's go put some strings on it. Oh, it's already in the back. Let's go take a look, okay? Come on. Alright guys, so today's restring is an Ibanez Talman. And this is, my customer believes this is the TC640. And this color is Daphne Blue. This guitar was built approximately 1994, and it is made in Japan. You see, you've got those 3 lipstick pickups, 5-way pickup switch. Now I noticed that this knob right here is on kind of crooked, and I noticed that my input jack is, or actually it's an output jack, it's a little bit loose right there. But these are kind of neat guitars. I haven't done a restring on one of these just yet. So I asked my customer, hey, do you mind if I do a video? And he said, no, man, go right ahead. And right here, if I can get it on there, there is the Made in Japan logo. So, cool guitar. Nice looking wood on the neck here. A nice looking little heel joint and everything. So, yeah, Japanese guitars, you can't beat them. They're great guitars. Let's throw some strings on it. Shine it up a little bit. Okay, so when you're pulling the strings out of here, sometimes they get stuck. What I do is I take the cut piece of my E string, my low E string, and I shove it down in that hole just to break that thing loose so it will go. There you go. So yeah, sometimes I use the end of the string sort of as a tool. Get those things out of there. Okay, so I'm just going to shine these frets up a little bit. They're already in pretty good condition. You know, you always get a couple little tiny divots and little dents in the first couple of frets from the average guy playing all his open chords. This one doesn't look too bad. I've known guys that have a great ear, and when there's a dent like that, they can actually hear it when they press down on the chord. They can hear that it's a little out of tune. It amazes me how good some people's ears are. One thing that I noticed about the headstock up here, in front of each tuner, you've got this little tiny bump, and when I first looked at that, I said, is that a little flaw right there? But I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little tiny ridge across the front of every one of the tuners, and there you can kind of see it. I thought, is that a flaw? But no, that's just high quality Japanese craftsmanship right there. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pull the truss rod cover off, and let's make sure the neck is straight. And then I'm going to clean it a little bit. Also, I have to tighten up this output jack right here. And I'm going to try to straighten this up a little bit right there. So here we go. Let's take this truss rod cover off. You know, I had an Ibanez, I can see the nut inside there. I had an Ibanez acoustic that was the same way. In my opinion, when you see a nut like that, you have a good quality guitar. Okay, so here's my truss rod tool, and it fits a Gibson. And if you can see, there you go. It fits real nice on that truss rod, and it feels nice and tight right there. Okay, let's see, is this a long scale? Yes, it is, long scale. And so I just take my feeler gauge, and I just kind of see how much of a gap we have underneath there. And this one, there's a little gap right there. So I think, based on this, I could tighten that up just a little tiny bit. So I'll just give this a little tiny turn. There we go. Double check right here. Let's see if she got nice and flat. Got a little bit down in this neighborhood, right at the 12th fret. can kind of go underneath it. Okay, so based on that, I'm going to try to give it one more small little turn on this. See what that does. So yeah, by doing that, I just noticed that the nut is loose, so I'll put a little tiny bit of wood glue underneath that nut. So let's put this back on here, and let's try this. That's better. We're going to leave it right there. Alright guys, so the nut was loose on here, so what I do is I just put a little bit of wood glue on a toothpick, kind of smear it in there a little bit, and then reinstall the nut, and it just kind of slides into place there. Make sure you have it perfectly centered. Almost probably used a little too much glue right there. You don't want to use super glue, because the next time you go to take that off of there, it'll literally chip all the rosewood right here, and you see a lot of guitars where up to next to the nut, the rosewood is all chipped out because somebody used super glue. So let's see if we can tighten this up a little bit. Here we go. We got a little bit of this, and what I will do is I'm going to go ahead, spray a little bit of that in there. Then I'm also going to go in here, spray a little bit of that in the 5-way switch. There we go. Just a little extra, a little something extra. Since you're already in there, it does not hurt to spray a little tiny bit and fix this baby up. Yeah, this is on all cattywampus, right? I think the problem is this is just too tight, and so it doesn't make for a nice flat area that makes it look like, you know, it's always wobbling around like that. And I think it's because this is squeezed together. Now I don't really want to try to get that thing different than where it's at. So yeah, oh hey, you know what, that's a little bit better right there. The way that was squeezed together, the potentiometer, it kind of made it kind of weird to put that on, but it's not gonna, and I'm not going to try to pull it apart so that this fits on there better. There's nothing that I'm going to do to that. That's as good as it's getting right there. So yeah, these Ibanez guitars, these are nice guitars. I want to take the camera down here for a second, and I just want to show you the condition of these pickups. So you got these lipstick pickups, and you can see like right in here where the strings have been rubbing against them. There's a lot right there, that high E string's rubbing up against it a lot. I think those pickups might want to be lowered a little bit, but I'm not going to mess with that. All the saddles look good. This is just a basic restring, and so where they're at right now as far as their height, I think we're pretty good. I don't want to mess with it. So, beautiful Ibanez guitar. It does look like you got a little chip right there, and it looks like he tried to fix that because it's got a different color of blue under it, but maybe not. These are super cool guitars. If you like that offset sort of Jaguar Mustang kind of look, this is Ibanez's version. Let's clean this fretboard up a little bit. I have these D'Addario polishing cloths, and I just take a little tiny bit of these, and let me see, let me just cut it a little bit like this. Here we go, let's see what happens here. And it's got two sides, and this kind of looks like the side that might have some sort of chemical on it or something. I think it's the side. This kind of looks like the back. So let's see what happens here if I just go like this for a while. It's getting some stuff off. Let's see what happens if I use this side. Well, it's kind of working on both sides. It's a rosewood neck, so we can put a little dab of lemon oil on it. So I have these Kaiser lemon oil wipes. We're opening up a fresh one. And there we go. Let that soak in for a bit. There's some guys that say don't use that lemon oil on your fretboard because it'll actually loosen the frets. It'll make the wood so soft that the frets will start popping out. So because of that, I take a cloth and I wipe off the excess. Alright, so today's string choice is Mapes. And it says 3 sets right there. And so I'm wondering if there's 3 sets of strings in here. I'm guessing that there are. But right here it says Mapes strings sound better, last longer. And this is kind of interesting right here. Made in the hills of Tennessee and cured with Appalachian moonshine. Made in USA. I've never seen these before. But here we go. Let's open these up. And I'm expecting a lot of strings to come flying out of here. Yep, look at that. 3 sets. So hopefully I can go 1 set, 2, 3 sets. So I'll throw these other 2 back in here. And just like old moonshine, I wonder if they get better with age, right? I'll leave those over there. They are color coded, which is nice. I put a set of those PRS strings on a guitar the other day, and one of them broke, and they were not color coded strings. So okay, I mean, am I that guy that's going to complain about Paul Reed Smith strings? I guess I am. So the first guy that goes on is purple. And I'm going to leave them really loose because I did just put a little bit of glue on that nut, although it's really in there nice. I don't want that nut to move around too much. Okay, so another thing that is always a great idea to do is I have some of this nut lube, right? Insert jokes there. This is called string slide grease. And again, I just put some on toothpicks. I'm telling you, toothpicks are some of the best tools that you can use when you're doing guitar repair. You always need a lot of toothpicks. So I'm just going to try to put a little tiny dab of that in each one of these grooves. And I'm just kind of really dabbing it in there. And then I will wipe off the excess. But it's always a good idea to do this. Now, if this is one of those Graphtec self-lubricating nuts, then this procedure is not necessary. But I have no idea what kind of nut that is on there. So it's definitely not going to make any difference if you just go ahead and put some of that stuff in there. I don't know if they still make this product, but that is what I'm using. I don't know how different it is from just regular Vaseline. Okay, so I got the strings on here, and now to stretch the strings out, I just kind of lay my hand on one side and I just kind of tug like this, just to stretch those babies out a little bit and make sure that they're seated down in the bridge just perfectly. You don't want to pull up here by the nut, because I've actually broken a nut before by tugging on a string, and it broke the nut, and then the you know, the B string, the D string, E string, you barely want to tug. I've also broken a lot of E strings by tugging on them. So basically it's just the wound strings that you can sort of tug on when you're stretching those strings out. My customer wanted this guitar tuned a half step down. So that would be in D sharp or E flat. I just use my snark tuner. So my customer was complaining a little bit about stuff fretting out. So what I'm going to do is down on this end, I think I'm going to have to raise the saddles just a little bit because we have the neck nice and flat already. I might have to loosen the truss rod just a tad to get a little more relief in the neck if it continues to fret out. But sometimes a guitar half step down with very light 9-gauge strings on it, it's going to make it kind of where it's going to fret out a little bit. At least going to make it a little easier to fret out. There's not much tension pulling on the neck. Okay, let's test that out. Let's play it for a bit. Alright, so half step down. It always sounds a little weird to me until your ears kind of have to acclimate to being the half step down. But here's the bridge position right there. Here's the center. And all the way forward. There you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Real quick video on this Ibanez Talman from Made in Japan. Super cool guitar. Guys, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. See you.